can!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams.
Hi, you're watching Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show today, India tried to stand tall on day one at Manchester, but is the pressure that England is continuing to mount on the visitors getting to them? And at the heart of this is England targeting India's young captain on tour, Shubman Gill. Suddenly, he can only do all wrong. World number one Jannik Sinner has rattled the internet again and the tennis fraternity. The world number one has generated a storm by rehiring the trainer who was responsible for his doping ban. Was it the right move? What does this do to Sinner's image? And Divya Deshmukh becomes India's first woman to make it to FIDE's World Cup final. What is so special about this 19-year-old teenager? How did she get here and what lies ahead as India continue to dominate the global stage in the sport? All of that heading your way, but first, a look at the headlines on Sports 360. We'll start with cricket. India's vice-captain Rishabh Pant suffered a toe fracture on day one of the fourth test. Pant was batting at 37 when Chris Woakes' Yorker struck his foot. Reports say young wicketkeeper bat Ishan Kishan will be called up for the fifth test. In football, Spain have entered the Women's Euros final after beating Germany 1-0. Aitana Bonmati scored the only goal of the match. It will be a repeat of the 2023 FIFA World Cup final that England lost to Spain 1-0. Meanwhile, England international Marcus Rashford has joined Spanish giants Barcelona on loan. Rashford will spend the entire season in Spain. This is after an ugly fallout with Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim. Barcelona have an option to purchase Rashford at the end of his loan spell. Rashford has made over 400 appearances at Old Trafford, scoring 138 times. News from Formula One. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff has confirmed that F1 giants are keen on keeping the two drivers for the next season. Kimi Antonelli and George Russell will start for Mercedes in 2026 too. Russell's contract is set to expire this year, but Mercedes is looking to re-sign the British driver. But Wolff also said they are closely monitoring Max Verstappen's contract situation at Red Bull. And FIDE is facing criticism from the European Chess Union for allowing a team of players with Russian nationality in the upcoming 2025 Women's World Team Championship. The event is set to take place in November in Spain. The decision was taken in a virtual meeting. They, of course, gave IOC's guidelines as their defense, where players can compete under neutral flag. India faced their first real battle at Manchester on day one of the test itself. India, down 1-2 in the series, came up against an England side that's growing ruthless and meaner with each passing session. Captain Shubman Gill was booed by the home crowd. The openers were slammed for failing to convert starts, and injuries have piled up. All eyes are now boring in on Gill and his men. Can this young Indian side survive their biggest test so far? Now, what we saw at Lord's was textbook Test cricket at its best. Two teams battling hard over 5 days, delivering moments of brilliance, a lot of fire. But now in the crucial fourth test at Old Trafford, the stakes are high. The series is on the line and the psychological warfare has shifted dramatically. England came in full of confidence. India on the back foot, already bruised by injuries. Enter Shubman Gill, a young captain who's been in the spotlight right through the series from the start. And England wasted no time in getting all fired up and setting their sights on him, targeting him. Their mind games were clear: get under Gill's skin, rattle the young leader and destabilize the Indian camp. Now, when Gill stepped out to bat, the hostility hit him immediately and hard. He was booed relentlessly by the crowd at the stadium. England's bowlers too seized the moment, pressing hard on him, and their captain Ben Stokes led that charge. Even when Gill got out, he faced a loud send-off from Ben Stokes. It wasn't easy out there and definitely not easy being in Gill's shoes. With England doing their part on the field, the critics of it followed suit. Experts launched their assault, borrowing tactics straight out of Australia's playbook from the Border Gavaskar Trophy. The goal demoralised the captain and the team will crumble. Like the Aussies did with Rohit Sharma during that series, made the Indian captain and his lack of form the focal point. The fact is, England have dug their heels into Gill through this tour, nitpicking every move of his, questioning his leadership and even pulling him up for his tactics.
The first two tests were about Shubman Gill, the batter, but since then, he's made a target of himself. Suddenly, he has gone from being a batter to being a villain, as he was portrayed in day 3. Undoubtedly something to do with the way he carried himself.
The tactics Gill is being criticised for is sledging. That's been England's bread and butter here. From their captain to his teammates, England has been doing their own ribbing as dictated by their coach, Brendan McCullum. In fact, a lot of the questions in the pre-test presser that Gill addressed before the Manchester match was around the fiery banter that both these teams have been exchanging at Lord's in particular. And Gill spoke about England's delaying tactics here, something that the host seems to be brushing off. But Shubman Gill did find some support from Indian commentator Dinesh Karthik on this matter.
I don't think India can take 90 seconds not wanting to bat, or rather, not wanting to come down to bat. I think that's the problem that Shubman Gill said he had.
But Karthik defending Gill here won't be enough. Every decision of the captain that the captain has made has come under scrutiny, especially dropping Karun Nair and bringing in Sai Sudarshan instead.
Today was Shubman Gill's chance to back Karun, who was down but deserved one more chance. He should have picked Karun Nair. Chance missed to earn the respect when it comes to making tough decisions as a leader.
Did the move backfire? No. Sai Sudarshan top scored with 61, India's highest on the day. Maybe this is how Gill proves he can take those tough calls. This young Indian team faces not just England on the field here, but a media and a fan storm of it. They're under the microscope, every move being analysed, every failure just magnified. They have to fight to not be ravaged mentally and physically here by an opposition that is rallying its troops on and off the field to intimidate India. More so when the woes just do not seem to end for the visitors. Their star wicketkeeper batter and vice-captain Rishabh Pant suffered a toe injury. He's battling pain, yet came out to bat on day 2. And that's what Test cricket does, and to everyone who's involved in it. It asks more of you every single day, session, hour and over. India can choose to wither here or just keep fighting on as they look to navigate this minefield here. Will they buckle under the pressure that comes with playing overseas or rise up and silence their critics? Jannik Sinner has had a seesaw year. The doping row did not let him be, and rightly so. But nor did Grand Slam success. That didn't evade him either. The triumph at Wimbledon may have managed to push much of the turmoil and backlash that Sinner received from the doping saga behind him, or so we thought. That did not last too long. Sinner seems to have stirred the pot again by rehiring his beleaguered and controversial fitness coach, Umberto Ferrara, the same man who had induced Sinner's failed dope test last year. Not once, but twice. And this reappointment has created a massive storm. Now, it all came up suddenly yesterday with Sinner and his team announcing the re-inclusion of Ferrara and the physiotherapist, Gianco Monaldi, both of whom had left the Italians' camp last year, months after the doping row erupted. The statement was intended to do this: show Sinner backing Umberto's potential, his experience and convey how critical his inclusion was to Sinner's preparations and goals for the remainder of the year. But what it has actually done is this: told us that a doping misstep, one that could have proved to be fatal, is okay, can be forgiven, forgotten and moved on from. Now, there were many things that went wrong during that whole saga of last year, continuing on to this one. First of all, the dope test itself. For a world number one to test positive for Costa Ball twice should have been treated like the wake-up call it was. But was it? Which leads me to the next point. The fact that the trainer inadvertently let it slip into Sinner's system, someone at that level should have known better. And 3, no immediate punishment given, which raised a stink in the internet. And even when it came, it was a very convenient punishment so that Sinner didn't have to miss any big tournaments and did not lose too many points either, reclaiming his #1 rank upon re-entry like it never mattered. Now, all of this just pointed to a treatment that screamed differential. Take Iga Swiatek, another instance of a top-ranked tennis star embroiled in doping. Unwittingly, like Sinner claims to, she and her team have gone about their business rather quietly thereafter, no pomp and show, taking the penalty in their stride and going forward with amendments. And definitely unlike what we are seeing from the Sinner camp here. And to think this was an episode that tore the tennis fraternity apart, with players and fans picking sides when it came to the Sinner doping instance, you can only imagine how this reappointment rather, was received online. A lot of hate there and a lot of heat. The reactions are blatant and bold. Was this all a cover-up, many ask? Just a sham? To then go back to square one with no lessons having learned and no actual repercussions or consequences being faced by those who defaulted. How could Sinner go back to the same people who were responsible for the whole row in the first place? Now look, I'm all for second chances. We are human after all, and everyone deserves to repent and show remorse. But at what cost? We're talking about a world #1 here and how he will be perceived with every move he makes. After a certain stage in your career, after you've reached a certain place, it isn't just about how you play or how good you are as an athlete. What do you stand for outside the tennis courts? It's important. Now, while it isn't as simple as worrying about what people will think of you, it's about doing what sets up your image in the public domain. What you stand for, that matters. Because a world #1 doesn't only inspire people to play great tennis, he or she has to inspire people to do the right thing. Sounds simplistic, yes, but that's what you expect from the best in the business. Maybe if Jannik Sinner came out and openly spoke about this, he may reduce all the scrutiny that he is currently receiving. He may succeed in softening the blow. Until then, though, what this has done is just ensured that Sinner has put yet another wrong foot forward in what has been a long, arduous ordeal for him and his team already. Her fingers were trembling, she was lost for words, and why not? Something of this magnitude had never happened before. Divya Deshmukh became the first Indian woman ever to qualify for the FIDE World Cup final last night, one step away from making history. And the moment was not lost on her, but what fuels this teenage sensation's rise to dominance. Let's take a closer look. Divya is part of a brigade of Indian women, in fact, who are already rewriting the history books in this sport. From a record-breaking 4 quarter-finalists to 2 in the semi-finals, with Divya becoming the first to enter that hurdle. Defying all odds, she's fought her way up to the final. But this is no overnight success. Every year, Divya has climbed the ladder one step at a time. Her journey began as a 5-year-old falling in love with the game of chess. By 2020, she was making waves with a gold medal at the online Olympiad. 2021, that was a milestone year because she became a woman grandmaster, India's 21st. The next year, she added an individual bronze and her international masters title. 2023 and 2024 saw her dominate Asian championships and youth tournaments, capped by the team gold at the Olympiad. And just last year, she bagged silver and bronze at the World Rapid and Blitz Championships. But Divya isn't waiting for success to come knocking on her door. She's chasing it down tirelessly. When she won the Junior Girls Championship last year, her eyes were already set on bigger goals.
My initial goal is to become a grandmaster as soon as possible.
And this year she earned her first grandmaster norm. You need 3 to cross that hurdle, as it were. If she wins the World Cup, she'll officially become a grandmaster, a crowning achievement. What sets her apart isn't just consistent results, though. It's her infectious smile and her demeanor. She's shattered the stereotype of the stoic, serious chess player that we've always gotten so accustomed to seeing. Behind the intense focus lies a 19-year-old who loves to have fun. She's cute, charismatic, got that stable mom figure supporting her right through, and that relaxed confidence is her secret weapon. Because when you're calm and composed off the board, you bring that same fearless attitude to every single part of it while you're playing. Her semi-final was a masterclass in grit, defiance and razor-sharp tactics. She waited patiently, staying unflinching, and when her opponent cracked, Divya struck. An approach that was seen through the tournament, where she beat some of the notable names in the world of chess. Second seed Zhu Zina, compatriot Harika Dronavalli, and of course the biggest, former world champion Tan Zhongyi in the semi-final. Now, while the teenager's fierce while playing off the board, the giant killer is just as lively, cheerful and approachable. At the Chess Olympiad, while senior teammate Vaishali Ramesh Babu signed autographs, Divya sneaked up asking Vaishali for one too, showing her lighter, down-to-earth side. As Divya Deshmukh, unfiltered, cheeky when she can be, so when she fell silent after her historic semi-final win, it surprised a few.
I need some sleep. These days have been so anxious. I just need some sleep and some food.
She'll get all of that and her rest before the big final, but Divya Deshmukh will return recharged, refocused and ready to claim glory, because this isn't just a player chasing titles. She's a fierce force driving Indian chess's future. This is a moment not just for Divya, but for Indian chess, the sport itself here. A teenager with the heart of a warrior, a smile that lights up the room and the skill to topple giants. The World Cup final is her stage to prove she belongs among chess's elite and to inspire a generation watching her fearless rise. Divya Deshmukh isn't just a champion, she's a trailblazer, and the world better be ready. Because last year, it was the men making all the headlines. A teenager, Gukesh Dommaraju, became the focal point after he won the World Championships. This year, it's the women, and once again, it is a teen showing the world how it's done. Time for last serve. Cycling clubbed with open dining. That's a concept that can bring anyone around. In Copenhagen, a bicycle chef offers a gastronomic experience on wheels. He unites people with the passion for cycling, and at the end of the ride is a delicious meal on offer. Take a look. Quite a tempting offer that, but that wraps it up here on First Sports. I'll of course see you again tomorrow. Till then, do take care. Bye-bye.